Yes, he's here. His truck is out front. Oh, there he is. He's in the Tosma shed. Hey, Captain Zip Trower!
Hey, how you doing?
We're good. We're from King 5 News, and we're shooting a documentary. We heard that you can grow donuts?
You know, you came to the right place because I can grow donuts. Let me get my seeds. I'll be right back. Okay, I've got these donut seeds. I've got a whole bag of these donut seeds. Now I'm going to hold one up to you. That's it. A lot of people think these are cereal, but they're not really. These are authentic donut seeds. I paid $100 for this bag. Too much? Maybe, but I want to show you how to plant these donut seeds. First off, you need an implement to get into soil, and it's got to be good soil. So dig it down. I use a plastic spoon. I paid $100 for this spoon. It's specifically designed for planting donut seeds. Now watch, just about a ½ an inch. You put the donut seed down in there, and then you cover it up. Don't munch it down, keep it loose, but put the soil on top of it. And it's got to be good soil, it really does. But the key is this. Now I learned this from the world's strongest redneck. And he did a good job, but he left out some parts. Right on top of this donut seed, I'm going to put some instant coffee. Instant! Because it's going to make it grow. And you know what? With this weather we're having today, the water, instant coffee, you get it? So, then, after that, on top, I'm going to put some Perfect Blend fertilizer. Not Scott's, not Ortho, Perfect Blend. This is organic, sustainable fertilizer. Manufactured by my friend John Marler, who is the second smartest man in the world. And I'm going to put it right on top, Perfect Blend. Now, we're just going to let this germinate, and in a few minutes, because of that instant coffee and that fertilizer, you're going to see this donut start to blossom. Let's take a break. This donut is coming up out of the ground. Amazing! Let me tell you something though. Now, here's the deal. Unlike the world's strongest redneck, you know, you can put honey and sugar on this and make it a glazed donut. I don't like glazed donuts. What I like is chocolate donuts. So I'm going to get some of this chocolate syrup, and you can use any type of chocolate syrup you want, but the key is once this donut gets up about a ½ an inch, then take this chocolate syrup and put it all over the donut. Now, we're just going to wait a few more minutes and let this thing come out of the ground. Out of nature's bounty, this is going to work. Growing pastries, you're going to like it. Let's take a break. Let's get a cup of coffee. Okay, well, we're going to wait for the donut to come up a little more and just kind of mature in the ground. So I think probably about another 5 to 7 minutes, and that'll be good. So I'm going to have a cup of coffee, and we'll just wait.
Well, that's good. I have just a question. I know that there was an article written by Jim Bob Powell who said that you were the only pilot who really understood the ALQ-99 weapon system. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Well, Jim Bob. Well, those are kind words from Vice Admiral Powell, that's for sure. And really kind of uncharacteristic of Jim Bob Powell. Well, when I was up there flying in the Navy, I wanted to know everything I could about the airplane and the weapon system of that airplane. And the reason is that you never knew when something would degrade or fail in part or whatever, and you still had to complete the mission. So those of the guys that thought they had to have a perfect airplane or a perfect system, no, that wasn't going to work. You had to know in detail how the system worked so that you could be, you know, efficient, productive, and be able to complete that mission as assigned. For example, and I took a lot of grief for this, there's no doubt about it, but when I was up there, there was a device called the encoder on that airplane that really was the heart of the system. And every 64 hits, when that enemy emitter would hit you, it would form a track word. But there was a pan scope, and raw data was always transferred to that pan scope. And you could pick up the PRF and the pulse width and everything of that emitter. And so if it was degraded, you wouldn't turn around. If you had the capability, you would know exactly what to do. You didn't have to rely on the center tune TAD circuitry or any of that stuff in the airplane. You pressed on because you could do everything manually. I remember one time, Jim Bob Powell and I were flying, and I had him look up, close his eyes, and I would give him the parameters of what was coming in. And I would kind of direct him to manipulate that system and put the stuff onto the enemy stuff. And that was how the whole term blind pod set on got going. And it became a ways of operating the airplane. So, you know, I took a lot of grief for that. And, you know, so be it, I guess. But if guys like Jim Bob Powell and Tom Ford and Grady Jackson became, you know, better warriors because of the stuff that I put out, then great. That's fine. I think it was beneficial.
Well, did you carry that mindset down into the airline?
Well, I did. Not as much. I mean, there's obviously nobody going to shoot at you in the airline unless you got some Arab with an SA-7 missile at the end of the airport. But yeah, I mean, it kind of bothered me when people would just go to their job and just get in the airplane and take off and, you know, pull back on the controls and the trees get smaller, or push forward and they get bigger. No, there's more to it than that. I mean, you had to know exactly what fuel load you were taking, and alternates, secondary alternates, the threats, the weather, all that stuff. And, you know, much like military airplanes, if the magic stuff goes awry, you have to know the system well enough to adapt. There's 150 people on that airplane who are relying on you for their safety, and that's what we try to do, is to make sure that. You know, I had a routine that when I was flying from Seattle to Los Angeles, I would keep the water on the right side all the way down, and that way I would know that I was going in the right direction. And people say, well, what did you do when it was cloudy? Well, you don't fly when it's cloudy. I mean, call in sick or something. I mean, who wants to fly when you can't see out? So, you know, I kind of rolled over into that area as well. Hey, just about ready to look at that donut. I bet you're going to be surprised. Let's go see. Looky here. Right from the earth, a full-blown chocolate donut. Let me tell you something. This is so good. Man, that's a good donut. I am so glad I don't have diabetes. I tell you what, I've got more seeds. We're going to do this whole row here. You're going to like these. These are great.
These organic donut seeds should not be consumed or grown if you are pregnant or thinking of getting pregnant. Also, if you have asthma, athlete's foot, hives, herpes, hypoglycemic, low blood pressure, high blood pressure, erectile dysfunction, normal erectile function, if you have gout, glaucoma, diarrhea, diphtheria, mumps, measles, male pattern baldness, or have trouble telling the truth. Check with your medical professional to see if these organic donut seeds are right for you.